All right, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Lazerboy episode 30. This is the 2022 catch-up episode. I am here. I'm your host, the Lazerboy. Sorry, we haven't done this in a while. So, I'm your host, the Lazerboy, and I'm here with my co-host and good. Don't worry, I'll cut that out. And my good friend, Stephen Bess. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me once again. Love being on the
Absolutely.
show.
Great. Yeah, it's always great to talk with you. The last podcast we did was, well, before we get into that, let me plug the website real quick. Say you can watch and listen to past Laserboy podcast episodes on thelaserboy.wordpress.com. Search us in the YouTube, The Laserboy. Find us on Instagram at The Laserboy. And on Twitter at The Laserboy. I believe it's like some fancy. It's like underscore the laser boy, something like that. But I just started the Twitter, so I will put that in the show notes there. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description, so don't worry about that. And yeah, so I guess we haven't done an episode in a while. Typically, we will have a short intro segment, talk about what we've been watching, and then go right into our review. This episode, we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to be talking straight about what we've been watching. I guess the first section will be like TV shows we've been watching. The second segment will be movies we've been watching. And then our final segment will be what we anticipate the most for the rest of the year. TV shows and movies alike. And yeah, our last episode was the Batman, so it's been a while since we recorded an episode, right, Steven?
Mm-hmm.
Did I catch you?
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah,
It's good to catch up.
absolutely. We were. I was thinking about doing a Doctor Strange one, but I guess our busy schedules at the time didn't allow us to do that. But we'll squeeze that in into this episode. We'll talk about that shortly because we both seen it, have we not?
No, absolutely.
I know you've seen it because your name's Steven. It's right in your. It's
That
right in the
I am
title.
Dr. Stephen Strange. That's kind of my agenda.
Yeah, exactly. If there was a Marvel movie called Joseph, like I'd watch the shit out of that.
Right.
But there isn't.
Yeah. Well, there may very well be someday.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. But anyway, let's get right into what we've been watching. So Steven, let me ask you what you've been watching, TV show wise.
I've been binging a lot of the Marvel programs. Been watching Moon Knight, Miss Marvel. Looking forward to She-Hulk.
Oh yes.
Also, it's really good on FX, The Old Man, with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow,
Oh, okay.
directed by John Watts,
The director of Spider-Man.
the director of the last three Spider-Man trilogies.
Wow,
Yes,
I did not
or the
know that.
last three movies.
Okay, wow.
Haven't heard about that one, or got a chance to see it?
I've seen promos and I've seen like YouTube or Facebook advertisements, but I had no interest just because I need something that's really captivating for me to watch these days. And uh, John Watts sounds like a huge get, so I might you know check out the pilot based on that alone. Those credentials sound amazing.
Yeah, I would say try it out. Let me know how you feel.
Great, thank you for recommending
What
that.
no problem. Um, what have you been watching?
Oh, I thought you were gonna mention a couple more, but yeah, I guess we can just like trade off a bit, huh? We talk about a few. Um, yeah, because I'm sure one of our shows that we've been watching will there'll be like one that we've both been watching. There'll be some kind of crossover. So
Right.
so recently, well, let me get into what I've been watching earlier this year, and that would be I did a lot of rewatches. I watched, may have mentioned this in our previous episodes, but I rewatched The Sopranos, which you know like the God, we were talking about The Godfather earlier off air, but like
Right.
The Godfather is a program that just gets better with age. It rewards repeat viewings, and it gets better every time you watch it, and especially as you get older, right? Because The Sopranos has a lot of adult themes,
Right.
which I didn't really get at the time I first watched it. I was probably like in my 20s, and I just watched it because it was like really well reviewed. It's like the best show ever. Everyone's saying, like it's one of the best TV shows of all time. So, like, I had to watch it, and I loved it for what it was. It's a great, homage to all the, you know, poppy mafia movies like Goodfellas and all the Scorsese mafia
Right.
films. But the layer of depth it has in Tony Soprano, he's such a multi-layered character. Of course, he kicked off the kind of anti-hero, right? It's like he's not full on bad because he has his motivations are very complicated, right? And he has a lot of family issues and just human
Yeah.
issues that you relate to more as you get older. And like,
Yeah. You root for you find yourself rooting for him, even though you don't necessarily think you should root for him.
oh yeah, absolutely. But then like when I was younger, I just like kind of brushed off his family life and all of his complications with that and his anxiety. I'm like, oh, like why does he have that? I don't fully understand that. But now it's like, oh man, it really adds such a layer of depth to him. And the final, I'm not gonna mention what happens if you guys haven't seen The Sopranos, but the final
Oh,
episode.
come on! It's been like 10 years,
It's been
man.
10 years. Okay, well, let
20 years.
me just preface it by saying spoilers for the last episode of The Sopranos, in which I think if you watch it now and knowing what happens, that whole episode is one giant foreshadow to death. Like
Yeah.
everything in that episode is gloomy, is just
Yeah.
like has this really moody, foreboding, like grim mood to it. I said mood twice, but
Yeah.
it's really, I can't describe how masterful that episode is, but and then of course it leads all up to the end where
Right.
it's the most talked
Well, we
about
don't. We don't.
finale ever,
We
right?
don't. We
It's
don't
it's
know.
what? No, go ahead.
I was saying we don't know. We still to this day don't know what really happened
Right, right.
in the end.
It's um intentionally ambiguous, and that's the whole fun of everybody's interpretation of it. Let me ask you
Yeah.
what your interpretation of. Okay, let me describe it for our audience first. Is but the final moments of the finale, the whole Soprano clan are meeting up in this, you know, restaurant that they frequent all the time, and it's cut really weird because it's like there's a level of tension into it that feels, it's just a regular scene. They're sitting there waiting for the rest of the family members to get there, but it's cut like there's suspense, like there's tension
Right.
somehow, like something's gonna happen, right? And then of course, like Meadows trying to park and she's trying to like parallel park and she can't do it. She has to do it a couple of times, and you're like, why are they showing that? Like, why is that important? And then Tony's always looking over his shoulder. You see the members only guy jacket, like look at him all the time, and then he passes him,
Yeah.
goes to the restroom, and they're all like eating onion rings, and then Tony Soprano plays Journey, Don't Stop Believing, right? And then it cuts to black. Like you're like, what? What was that? It's all kind of anticlimactic, but let me ask you, what's your interpretation of that scene?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, you have to get into the mind of David Chase.
Uh-huh.
to really figure it out. But I think what happened in the end of that show was I don't know.
Top of your head, top of the off the top of your head, what like at the time you saw it, what do you think happened? Nothing, or he got shot?
I think somebody got shot.
Okay.
I don't know who,
Yeah.
but I think somebody definitely got shot.
Right, right, right. Interesting.
Um, it reminded me of a lot of the scene in Goodfellas where De Niro and Ray Liotta, may he rest in peace,
Yes. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta.
um, are in the diner and they get the phone call and De Niro goes out to the phone booth and he finds out that Pesci has been shot and killed
Yeah.
and he just smashes the phone against the the phone against the receiver
Yeah.
and like totally bludgeons the phone booth.
Uh huh.
Um, it had that level of intensity. You know,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I it's a good question. I don't
No,
know.
that's
Um,
fascinating. No, I didn't think about that parallel, but here, let me say this one thing. I don't want to get too much into it because I just wanted to mention it as one of the shows I've been watching. So I just wanted to brush past it, but of course we're gonna have to talk about this a little longer now because I asked you that question, right? But I did a lot of research after I watched it, and I was like digging into everybody's theory, and I've read a bunch of like David Chase um, interviews, and he doesn't give a definitive answer, and I love him for that because
yeah,
he still wants, he's like Tarantino. He wants that
you gotta
ambiguity
make
to,
up your own mind.
yes, exactly. He doesn't want, because if he gives an answer, then that's it. Like there, no one's gonna ask questions anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but he mentions, or somebody mentions, one of the theorists mentions that in an earlier episode, maybe an earlier season of The Sopranos, a character, I think it was Bobby Bacala or somebody, one of his henchmen, he says, when you die, well, he doesn't know how he dies, how people die, but this is how he would describe it if he thought he would die. Whoever said this, the character in the show said, "You're never gonna see it coming. You're not gonna hear a shot. It's just gonna go black."
Right.
They said that. That's a quote from the show. So, you know, make of that
That's
what you
kind of
will.
how the episode
Yeah, the
ends.
episode goes black. You don't see it coming. You don't hear a shot. It just goes black. You know what I mean? So, if that's not a winning endorsement for that happening, I don't know what is. But again, it's open to interpretation. I think it depends on what kind of person you are. If you're an optimist, of course you're gonna say, "Oh, he lived. He got away with it. It's fine. Maybe he dies later. He loses everything. That'd be the worst kind of death
Right.
anyway, right? He loses his family. Maybe like he whittles away and then dies from cancer or something. He probably deserves that from all the heinous things he did. Um,
True.
but if you're a pessimist, you're gonna say, "Oh, he's dead." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to me, I think he dies, and that shows you that I'm a
So
pessimist.
so you're saying we're both pessimists?
Yeah. Well, you said somebody dies, and I think Tony Soprano dies because I think that's the ultimate, form of retribution is not the right word, but he got it. He had it coming to him. He's not a great character.
Yeah.
He's not a good, morally good character. But at the same time, David Chase said this in an interview. He said he doesn't like that neat moral story of old gangster movies where they always have to die at the end. Like you watch any movie, Scarface or any of those
Right.
old crime
Yeah.
mob movies, they
Say
always
hello
have to
to my
die.
little friend.
Exactly. They always have to die at the end, right? Because
Right. Angels with
that's
dirty
that's
faces.
the moralistic society we live in. And he likes the idea that he lives just because it subverts that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's all over the place. He's probably just saying that so people could just keep, asking the question. But needless to say, however you feel about the finale, I'm still talking about that. Other people are still talking about that, and that's an incredible thing to accomplish, man. When did that end? Like 08, 07? So what, like 15 years ago, we're still talking about it, you know?
Yeah, about that time, yeah.
It's incredible. What else have you been watching, Steven? I talked too long there.
Well, I mentioned The Old Man, right?
Uh-huh.
Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What shows have you been watching on Disney Plus?
Most of the Marvel stuff, actually.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't watch Moon Knight, did you?
No, I did not, but I'd love to hear your pitch as to why I should watch it.
Um, it's a great show about a guy. It's Marvel's first psychologically impaired hero.
Oh. He's like kind
Um,
of morally ambiguous too, right?
oh, very much so, yeah.
Very
No,
cool.
it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
Um, Moon Knight has three separate personalities.
Yeah.
He's schizophrenic, man.
Right. That's what.
And it's an interesting. You had Ethan Hawke,
Oh yeah.
who I think did a good turn in it.
Uh huh.
He was the bad guy.
Hmm.
Don't want to reveal too much if you haven't seen it, because you still can go back and watch it and
Okay.
streaming.
I think I'm gonna watch it eventually, but please continue. You still there, Steven?
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear what I said?
Um.
Oh,
Yeah. No, it was just it was I've always liked Moon Knight. It's a dark character. It's a dark story. Um, but it also, if you like Egyptian mythology,
mm-hmm.
um, I mean, again, without going too much into it, one of his characters or one of his personalities is an archaeologist that works in a museum,
Okay.
and the other is an international MI6 assassin. And it's well, you go back and watch it.
All right.
You tell me how you think.
Okay. Really quickly, Steven, your volume is a little low. Can you try to I hate to tell you, but can you please speak up?
Oh
I hate
yeah,
to sound like a
I'm sorry.
teacher. Like, use your outdoor voice, Mr.
All
Bess.
right.
No, but no,
Okay.
because the microphone wasn't really picking you up, so that's why I say that.
All right. Sorry. Better.
Yeah, oh yeah, much better. Thank you so much, man.
All right.
Okay, and then you wanted to mention Miss Marvel as well, or is it Ms. Marvel? Miss Marvel or Ms. Marvel?
Ms. I think it's Miss.
Ms. Oh yeah, because
Miss.
she's younger. Yeah, it's not Ms.
MS.
Yeah, it's not Ms.
Dot Marvel.
Cause she's not married and
Right.
divorced or whatever that
Correct.
Ms. implies.
Although I'm not entirely sure,
Okay,
but I believe it's Miss.
it's Ms. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, why should I watch Miss Marvel?
Well, it's a huge. I was actually reading an article that said it is the least watched Marvel show so far,
Yeah.
but I have several. You know my comic collection. I have all the comics, and it's very true to Miss Marvel. It's also a lot like the series. Did you ever watch Scott Pilgrim?
Oh yeah,
What were your thoughts on Scott Pilgrim?
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it.
Well, then you should like Miss Marvel because it's about a teenage kid figuring out how to cope with superpowers, like Peter Parker or all the other heroes that we've seen in the past.
Does it have like that poppy visual aesthetic of Scott Pilgrim too?
Oh, absolutely, yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, you sold me.
I mean, because when it goes into like Miss Marvel when she narrates the show, and when she's narrating, it goes into like the animation of, you know, why I love the Avengers, because Captain America and Carol Danvers pop Thanos,
Yeah.
and it's got all these. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got a lot of modern day Pakistani music, because she's technically Pakistani. She's from Pakistan.
Hmm.
Um,
Let me interject real quick. I just hate this thing about shows about kids these days, but it's really small and minor. But because I listen to K-pop and I have to be up to date with all the new pop stuff, so
right.
I know what kids are listening to actually. So but I hate it in shows where they're like it's very kind of anachronistic, not anachronistic, but out of character and out of their generation that they're listening to like classic rock or like Billy Joel. Like there's a character in The Boys who listens to Billy Joel and he's like 20, and then at one point one of the characters asks him, "Why Billy Joel? Why do you listen to Billy Joel all the time? Are you a 60-year-old man?" And then in my head I'm thinking, well, the writers are 60-year-old men, so that's why they have Billy Joel in there. They couldn't think of any other things that kids listen to. But then of course, the character says, my mom listened to it all the time, and that's a great way to a great reason for them to listen to old music too, like in like Star Lord in Guardians as well. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sometimes I just hate it when they're like,
The
yeah,
awesomeness.
right, yeah, the awesome mix. Like give them some kind of emotional um reason to be listening to old music. But sometimes I'm just like, it's so lazy. Like you couldn't have done some research. You couldn't have asked like the intern who's 20 years old what kind of music they're listening to, and put that in. Like you just got to put the music that you're listening to because you're a 50-year-old writer or something.
I
It's so
like Billy
obvious.
Joel.
No, I love Billy Joel too, but sometimes I'm like, it's so obvious that like these young people are just characters written by older people. You know what I mean? Like, inject some kind of authenticity in them. Like, they're not listening to
Yeah.
Billy Joel, dude. Like, anyway,
So
but go
speaking of
on.
which, who do you listen to these days?
I'm all over the place because I'm a DJ, but I'm still
Right.
hooked on K-pop, and I did a lot of
You do love
element.
your K-pop.
Well, I'm not gonna mention any because no one's gonna know who they are, but um, like I did a couple elementary school dances, and the girls, they love Olivia Rodrigo, you know they love whoever, what kind of trap artist is popular right now. They love Harry Styles, they love Shawn Mendes, they love Drake. Like it's so simple. Just type in, all you have to do is Google Billboard Top 100, and then just use one of those songs, and then that young person's musical choice would be authentic. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do, man. Anyway, that's just a minor quibble of mine. Please continue with Ms. Marvel.
No, I think you need to show up and blast them with some Deep Purple, dude.
Well, I don't. I That's exactly what I've been saying for them not to do, but that is fine in a movie like Top Gun Maverick. They're all older. Maybe not the young flyers, but you know, Maverick is older and he could listen to the Who or whoever they got playing on that soundtrack, and that's fine. But when it's a show about kids, no, like don't put in old music, dude. Sorry,
Doesn't work.
it doesn't work for me. But
Doesn't
that
work
that
for you. Doesn't work for the kids, huh?
exactly, yeah, kids are gonna be a little like, that's what my dad or that's my grandpa listens to. I'm not into this.
Oh man, my grandpa. Now I feel old.
Well, that's the age that kids are, Steven. Well, our kids anyway. It should be. Sorry, but I didn't mean to make you feel old there. I'm sorry, buddy. But I'm sorry. What else have you been watching?
No, just a lot of movies. Really enjoyed Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, well, let's finish our TV first. So, any other TV shows you've been
Okay.
watching? Oh, you said
Uh,
Obi-Wan, right?
a lot. Actually, I've been diving into a lot of old stuff like Nick at Night.
Okay. Wow.
Just old episodes of MASH and Three's Company, and it's kind of like what do they call it? Cheesecake.
Uh-huh.
Um, Really looking forward. I've been watching a lot of the Munsters because I'm looking forward to Rob Zombie's
Oh, very cool.
adaptation.
Isn't there a new Adams Family too, or like a Wednesday Adams?
I think there's a new animated one,
Oh, okay.
like the Adams Family goes to Hawaii or
No, I could
something.
have sworn there's like a newer. She's like a Latina Hispanic girl who plays Wednesday Adams. She's from that show You on Netflix. It's a popular show. He's like a Dexter kind of like good
Huh.
serial killer who stalks women. Another anti-hero type of character, but she was in season
Right.
2 of You, and I like her a lot. And she's gonna be Wednesday Adams in the live action show. So I think
Oh,
even
cool.
Tim Burton's producing it. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. All right, let me go through some more shows real quick. I know we've been kind of lagging on this topic. So, Better Call Saul, which is amazing. Like,
Oh yeah.
if you're not, are you watching that too?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you saw the mid-season finale?
Yes.
Okay, spoilers for Better Call Saul, the mid-season finale of the latest show. But holy fucking shit, right? I was so surprised. Like I was shocked that I would feel anything for Howard, but because he's been such a foil, right, for Jimmy the whole series. But
Yeah.
then Jimmy and Kim have been kind of despicable this season too. Like, what? Why are they trying to fuck him over so hard? Like what? Like he was just doing his job, right? It wasn't personal. But yeah, the reveal of what's the guy's name? The bad guy. Fuck, I forget. But the cartel guy, right?
Right.
When he enters, and then you see like Jimmy and Jimmy's reaction. He's like holding Kim back, and there's like, I was like, holy shit, what's happening? And then, oh man, that was such a shocking moment. But were you shocked at that moment?
Oh, absolutely. But have you? I've told you about. I've been reading his not documentary. I'm sorry, autobiography.
Of
Bob Odenkirk,
oh, Bob.
comedy,
Okay,
comedy, comedy, drama.
okay,
Never heard of that one?
no,
Oh, Bob Odenkirk put out a documentary. No, I'm sorry. I keep saying documentary. Autobiography.
okay. I need to read it.
Oh, it's good. Well, you know that he had the heart attack on set, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard about that. Yeah.
And he wrote it in the time that he was in the hospital afterwards,
Oh, okay.
recuperating.
Right,
Because he basically felt like, if I need to tell my story, I should probably tell it. Now's a good time.
right. No, it's sound logic.
Um, no, but it's great because it has his whole career. He started off on as a writer on SNL.
No, it doesn't surprise me. I've seen him everywhere in the '90s. He was on Seinfeld, right?
He was on Seinfeld. He was on Mr. Show with Bob and Dave, the Ben Stiller Show. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was on like Malcolm in the Middle with Bryan Cranston. So, um, but great. No, I gotta read that. That sounds like a must read. But
Comedy, 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 drama.
right. So quickly going back to Better Call Saul, Better Call Saul. Yeah, please watch it, you guys. I think it's must watch. It's like the prestige like drama right now. Like nothing can match it. The writing is top notch. Obviously, Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, all those guys from Breaking Bad are just amazing. Like there's nobody that can match them. if anybody, maybe the writers of like The Good Fight, The Good Wife. God, I forget their names, but they're very sharp writers too, at the top of their game. But Better Call Saul, must watch, highly recommended. I've been watching Ozark. Well, I finished Ozark earlier this year. Um,
Yeah,
ended,
Ozark was good.
yeah, ended
Ozark's always been good.
very. I didn't know how it was gonna end, and it ended very like cynically. Is that the right word? Well,
Well,
it's
yeah, it did because
yeah.
a lot of people got shot.
Well, yeah, and they got away with the sorry, spoilers for Ozark. They get away with it, and not only that, they kind of like smile at the camera. Kind of, they don't actually do that, but it's kind of like a wink and nod
Yeah,
that
it's that. Yeah,
they got away with it, and but no, I like it. It's a fitting end for them. They're very smart characters. They probably would get away with that in real life because they've amassed so much power and influence and intellect. So more power to them. And I was expecting like a Breaking Bad, like, oh, they're gonna get their just desserts because they're criminals, but of course they don't. They suffer consequences, but in the end they get away with it, which I liked. It's a very you know what's the word, like counter programming antithesis kind of ending. Really quickly, Stranger Things, which I think is one of the scariest seasons. I was about to say Robert Englund plays that guy, but he doesn't. He plays another character, the guy who played Freddy Krueger, right, from Nightmare on Elm Street.
right.
Um, but the guy who plays, fuck, I forget his name, but the main villain guy is incredibly, you know, creepy. And the first couple episodes were like the scariest the show has ever been. I remember having to having to watch something else after just to get it out of my head. You know what I mean? And I think when you do that, the show has succeeded in terms of being horrifying. But it's a lot of fun too. It's like the last couple of seasons have been kind of like one big movie. Like you can't watch. Obviously, it's a serialized story, so you can't watch it like in the middle. But it's very much like a continuous story throughout each episode, and a lot of fun, man. I'm having I think as we speak right now, the final two episodes of season 4 are going to drop on Netflix, and the final episode of the season finale is going to be like 2.5 hours or something like that. So plan accordingly for that viewing.
Yeah.
Of course you're at home, so you can just pause it if you need to go to the bathroom or whatever. So not like Jurassic World Dominion where I'm like, oh, I gotta hold my pee. God damn you.
Right.
But another really quickly, the rewatching Westworld because season 4 just dropped. I think that show is has a lot of problems because they're just kind of rebooting themselves all over every season, and not because they want to. It's because they're getting a lot of notes from HBO and the producers at Warner's probably saying, "Hey man, this is too intellectual. It's flying over a lot of people's heads, and you got to kind of dumb it down a bit." And I think season 3's they took those notes and it is kind of dumbed down a bit, but at the same time it's still equally as confusing as the first two seasons. So I don't know if that's a winning endorsement. I'm still confused as to whether people should watch it or not, but I'm watching it anyway. Have you watched any seasons of Westworld there, Steven?
I've watched the first season.
Okay.
Um,
Another Michael Crichton
I
work. This is like the smarter Jurassic Park.
Michael Crichton.
Yeah, Michael Crichton or Crichton. Sorry if I'm butchering
Crichton.
that. Crichton. Okay.
I
Yeah, this
believe.
is like the smarter Jurassic
Well,
Park.
I have the original movie with Yul Brynner.
Yul Brynner. Yeah. But like season 2 was like the Lost World. It's like the 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 dinosaurs are going crazy. In this case, the machines. And spoilers for season 2, but everyone dies because of the machines. The machines killed them all. Very dark. Not the darker version of Jurassic Park, I should say
Well,
too.
the shit will do that.
Exactly right. When they become sentient, you better be aware.
Right.
The reckoning is upon us, my friend. Um, Obi-Wan. Want to talk about Obi-Wan for a bit?
Yeah,
Okay, what'd you think of Obi-Wan?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now I thought there was one major flaw.
Okay, what's that?
You do you want to try to point it out, or
I don't.
can
I
you read
kind
my
of know
mind?
what you may be talking about, but not quite. So please, no, you please tell us.
Okay, Episode 4, A New Hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars. I need you now. You're my only hope.
Okay.
Why didn't you just say, "Yo, Obi-Wan, remember that time we had that series together?"
Remember the time that we had that what together?
That series together.
Oh, right, 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 right.
Where you and I hung out for like 10 episodes, and you fought the Inquisitors,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then Darth Vader showed up and you kicked his ass.
yeah.
Well, you don't remember me, but I'm Princess Leia.
Well, you know how they can always remedy that situation, right, Steven?
How so? Retcon?
Another George Lucas director's cut where he adds that bit of dialogue in. I'm just kidding, but
Oh, yeah.
no, he's done tinkering, hopefully. But no, no, no. I see that. That's a pretty glaring plot hole. Um, what I was gonna say is, well,
Otherwise, though, I really enjoyed it.
yeah, overall, I
It,
think
it.
it was a
it was
great
great to
emotional.
see all the original actors come back.
Yeah, it was a great emotional um, send off at the end. The rematch was great, right, with Anakin versus
Oh,
Obi Wan.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But I feel
Well,
like,
and that puts an entirely new spin on the fight
sure,
in,
in
again,
in
A
A
New
New Hope,
Hope,
yeah, yeah, for sure,
because,
because he got beaten twice. I'm talking about
yes,
Darth Vader there. So,
Obi-Wan laid this smackdown on Vader twice in a row, but
well,
on the Death Star,
no, 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 no. Hold on.
he,
In episode 3, he kind of bested him first. So 2 out of 3, he beat him. Yep.
right,
But here's my problem with this series and that fight in general is that there's no stakes to it because obviously it suffers from prequelitis, which is we already know
yeah,
what's gonna happen. We're not gonna be like, oh, we're not gonna be shocked by anything. Yeah, yeah, sure. Like Darth's helmet got caved in and we saw his eye, and that was kind of cool when his voice went in and out. But nothing huge is gonna happen where we're gonna like, holy shit, like I didn't see that coming, So, however, I think where they were allowed to do that with uh, was with secondary, characters, and that was Riva, the
yeah,
Inquisitor who was like overly ambitious, right? The third sister or whatever.
right,
Um,
right.
I loved her arc. I loved how she was just like single-minded in trying to acquire Obi-Wan. We're like, why? What kind of beef does she have with him? And all along she had this beef with Darth, with Anakin, right? He killed all her friends, all the younglings, right? So,
Yeah,
my friend and
that's
I were
that's
arguing,
enemy.
not really arguing. We had a debate. He's a friend of the podcast, a frequent guest on the show, Dat Nguyen. He didn't really buy her turn, saying that like, oh, all of a sudden, she saw a kid and Obi Wan, and then like kind of turned, like she didn't really buy that. And I'm like, you know what? Like you got to look at it through the perspective of she was kind of manipulated by the dark side, right? Like just like how
Absolutely,
all
yeah.
of the apprentice of like Sidious are just like manipulated by he's a puppet master, and
Right.
they're just under their control, under their spell until something like emotional, like really, emotionally, uh, you know, like an emotional breakthrough happens, um, which happened with Riva and she saw like she saw like Leia or She saw somebody, right? And then she just kind of snapped out of it.
Yeah.
Wait, can you hold on real quick?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought. Are you still there?
Yeah.
I thought somebody broke into my car, but
What?
no. I thought there was like a light in my car, but it was just the light from across the street. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No worries.
But yeah, does that make sense? Well, my
Yes, it does.
my
Well, I
assessment of
just
Riva.
I loved in the end how Owen's like you want to meet him,
Oh right, yeah,
and he has the T-16 Skyhopper model.
yeah. Which we
That
see that he's holding in A New Hope.
right.
Oh, Biggs is right. I'm never getting out of here.
Yeah. I want to go to the Tesla station to get some power converters. No,
He's so
you have to fix the moisture evaporators.
he's, he's so fucking whiny, fucking Luke.
But so was Anakin.
Oh, that's true.
If you think about it, like, Master.
Are you an angel? No, that's not really whiny, but yeah,
Right.
I mean, but he's like a toddler there. You know, he's allowed to be. Luke's like freaking 20 years old.
But even like, think about it, in by Attack of the Clones, when
Oh yeah.
Anakin is like 20 years old, he's like,
Yeah.
but Master, please. Please, Master.
No, there's a scene where he's like whining to like Padme, and he's just like he's having like a temper tantrum.
It's just everywhere. I hate the desert. The sand is everywhere.
No, that too, and then he was just like
It's up in your crotch.
he's like, oh, they're not letting me do this. Like they're holding me back, something like that. Yeah. I can't really quote. I haven't seen it in a while, but
I like in the screenplay that you wrote. It was like for the drama class. He's
Oh,
doing
yeah, thank
Revenge
you.
of the Sith.
yeah. Yeah.
Anakin, we were brothers. No.
Let her go,
You
Anakin.
betrayed me.
You will not take her from me. You have done that yourself with your power and with your something and your lust for power. That's my lame Cockney accent. So sorry about that.
Nice.
But yeah, Obi-Wan, great individual series. Ewan, always great. Yeah, of course, great to see Hayden as well. Which was kind of weird when they're doing the flashback where they were sparring with each other, right?
Right.
And then like Anakin's still like 50 years old. He's like a
Yeah.
50 he's like a 50-year-old Padawan. Like you couldn't de-age him a bit there, but that's kind of funny. But yeah, I like how they pointed out that like how that's always going to be his downfall, right? He's always going to be his lust for trying to be better than everyone, you know.
Yeah.
So great, yeah, great finale. I thought it was gonna be longer. It was only like 48 minutes. Excuse me, but yeah, Disney
Yeah,
Plus
something like that.
shows are on fire right now with The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. I've been watching the Disney Gallery making ofs too, so
Yeah.
those
I
are
like the
really
making
informative.
ofs. Those are
Yeah,
really great.
with the what do you call that thing that where they have like the screen all around? It's like the chamber or like the something they call it something.
Green screen?
No, it's like a big screen all around where it looks like you're on location. So you're just like in a studio. I forget what it's called.
Terradome.
No, it's called something, but
That's not what it's called, but I know.
oh yeah. Yeah, they call it something, so they have a name for it. But yeah, it's gonna be the future of filmmaking these days, you know. So, really quickly before we get into movies, we've been talking really long about shows here, but The Offer. You and I have been watching The Offer, which
Yeah.
is a great show. It's on all these shows we've been forgetting to tell our viewers where they're from, but you guys can look it up. The Offer is the only one worth noting where it's at because Paramount Plus really is the dark horse out of all these streaming platforms. But Paramount only really has like two great IP, and one of them is like not even they're not gonna make any more of them, and that's The Godfather. Uh, and the other is
Cars.
by the Tom Cruise estate, and that's Mission Impossible and Top Gun, right? Which we're gonna get into in our movie
Right.
section. But The Offer, yeah, man, it's great to see. I love this vibe of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1969, 1970, just like that era of Hollywood. Um, and it's the making of The Godfather by way of producer Al Ruddy, who is played by Miles Teller. Got a lot of great actors here. The guy who plays Robert Evans, I forget his name, Matthew Good.
Bob Evans.
Yeah, Bob
Yep.
Evans, who's a great character. Uh, what are you trying to do, Bobby? Booby, or whatever he says, Booby. Got that one guy from Pacific Rim. I forgot his name. Who plays the CEO or chairman of a Gulf and Western. You got Colin Hanks, which he has a great arc there in the final episodes. I won't reveal what they are because I know Steven's only on like episode 5. So, but yeah, great series through and through. You know me, Steven. I love films and shows about making movies. So this is up there with all of the movies and TV shows that I like that are about making films. So anything else you want to say about the show?
No, I mean, so far I think bleh. It's excellent.
Yeah. Who?
Have you Are you familiar with Peter Biskin, who's an author?
No. Who is that?
He's a film historian, an author,
Okay.
but he's done several books. One of them is called Easy Riders, Raging Bulls.
Okay.
And it's all about. I read it when I was in film school, taking a film history class. But it gets into all the movies of the '70s,
Okay.
from The Godfather to The Exorcist to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to even Jaws and Star Wars and um, the argument that it makes is that the '70s was an era that really defined and reinvented cinema, the new Hollywood.
Right.
You had Martin Scorsese, you had Francis Ford Coppola, you had
George
all these.
Lucas.
What's that?
George Lucas.
George Lucas, absolutely. All these new directors that were coming in and doing American Graffiti and
Yep.
THX 1138.
Right. Great. Yeah, I got to read that. Another thing I want to add about yeah, The Offer. I've seen making of documentaries of obviously on the special features discs of the Godfather Blu-ray and DVD, but I just didn't realize how difficult it was to make that film. Like how much struggles they went through politically and just like creatively. Because obviously you said at a time it's such a different time. They were just it was like what do you call it, like a transition period of Hollywood, right? They were all about it was like the 40s and 50s
Oh,
with
oh, oh, yeah.
silence and musicals. Well, not silence, but like yeah, musicals. Um, epic. Like the gangster picture was just very one-sided and very two-dimensional. It was about yeah, this gangster, and they're all caricatures, and they die at the end, like we were talking about earlier, and yeah, they really changed the face of cinema creatively and financially. I think they mentioned this in the show, but like Love Story was the only like big
Right.
financial
Success.
success in of
Exactly.
Paramount, yeah, at the time. So they're really like putting all their eggs in their basket on this film, and
Yeah, they were.
like yeah, like producer wise, it's very understandable to see their hesitance, in getting this picture made. Plus, because it had all this turmoil be sent behind the scenes, like politically, right? Like all the the Italian that I forget
Community was
the
very upset about it.
right, yeah. Who's that guy? The Giovanni Ribisi character. He plays like the head of some kind of organization, right? That
Yeah, the Sons. I believe it's the Sons of Italy.
okay. Yeah, it was some kind of committee, like the Italians
Yeah. I know.
committee,
Like,
something
yeah,
committee for.
Italians for Italian Americans for Italian rights.
Okay, yeah. Sorry for butchering that. All of our Italian Americans listening out there.
Hey,
But
it's okay. I'm Italian. I give you a free pass.
okay, great. But yeah, he's a great character too, and of course he already gets on his good side, and they are a go on his end, and but I was watching. There's a news feature on the Blu-ray. I think it came out in like 2008, but it was like 30 minutes, and it's like the documentary version of The Offer because it goes through all of it tells the whole story, but it has like all these talking heads, and I
Yeah.
remember like Steven Spielberg saying like when he saw The Godfather, he was just like he wanted to retire from movies because like he didn't know if he could ever make a film that was that like confident, you know, in what they were trying to
Yeah.
say.
Well, Jaws wasn't a bad film.
Right. When did Jaws come out? Like 75?
75.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
When did Close Encounters come out? I want to say 70.
77, I
Oh, okay.
believe.
So, what did he make in that like the Godfather era? Like, was it I want to say like Sugarland
Duel.
Express or something like that, or something like it's like a job that he just booked. Like I know he wasn't really like in love with the script or anything, right?
Probably Duel.
Okay. Oh, Duel? No, that was Ridley Scott.
No. Ridley Scott was Harvey Keitel and Ridley Scott and the Duelist. The
Oh,
Duel
oh, okay,
was by Spielberg about the guy that was being chased by the semi truck.
okay. I don't remember that. Okay. What was the movie with Tom Cruise and it was like kind of like fantastical and he met the devil?
Oh, Legend
Oh,
with Ridley
Legend. Okay,
Scott.
okay, yeah. That's the one I
Legend.
thought. Okay, that's the picture I was thinking that was Duel, but okay, never mind.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, that's The Offer. You guys should watch that. It's streaming all episodes. I think it's like 10 episodes. Streaming on Paramount Plus right now. Steven and I highly recommend that. All right, let me plug this sponsorship before we get into our movie section. So give me a second, right, Steven?
Yep.
All right, so this episode is sponsored by PV Brands Payments or PV Pays. It is a payment processing app, real up to date, cutting edge technology, offering payment solutions for all business types and sizes. If you guys are into cryptocurrency, they offer real time conversion for cryptocurrency. No waiting for days, weeks, or even months for your crypto to be converted. If you guys are interested, please click on the link on the description of the blog and on the YouTube channel, or the description in the YouTube channel for a free quote. And if you guys get a free quote, please add me as a referral, either Joseph, NGO, or the Lazerboy, either or is fine. And we appreciate your patronage. All right, with that, let's get into the movies we've been watching in the summer. My list is real short because I don't know about you, Steven, but I'm still kind of hesitant to go to the movies because
Really?
not because of COVID. I'm fully vaccinated, and I think my COVID anxiety has reached its peak and it's dwindling down a bit. But I'm still getting
Okay.
I still have social anxiety because the pandemic didn't help me there because I didn't
Right.
wasn't able to go out and socialize and do normal social things. But so I've been avoiding theaters, avoiding large crowds. If I go to the theater, I'm picking like a really late showtime, or I'm watching it like 2 weeks later. And I have this thing where I'm always like, like you could buy your tickets on apps these days, and you could pick out which seat you want, and I'm always like, even after I bought my ticket, when I'm in the theater, I'm looking at that showing to see if anyone bought seats next to me,
Okay.
because I'm gonna move, and then
Right.
and then every time I see like people like walk in the aisle, I'm like, no, please don't sit next to me, please don't sit next to me. So that's where my anxiety is at for movie theaters now. But how's
Right.
how's your experience been at the movies,
Not
Steven?
bad. I haven't had that much anxiety as you have.
Okay.
Although I'm not going to admit, out here where I live, you
Yeah.
can get a. It's like going to the movies. It's like going to the movies in Amsterdam, like in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, you can have a beer, right?
You can have a beer.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
have wine. You
you,
can have spirits.
I don't know if you know this,
You know,
Steven, but you can do that in California as well.
um, the Last MacGuffin. Isn't that the bar and at the AMC theater, the MacGuffin?
Yeah, well, like all AMC theaters have that. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, good for you.
Well, bully for you. You thought you were exclusive to that? I thought you were gonna say like, oh, we can spark up a blunt in the theater over here.
Oh, hell yes. I've done that several times.
There's no smoking policies in there. I thought they had no smoking, anti-smoking policies in Nevada. No.
Actually, they don't. They don't. I mean, no, no, they do. But what's ironic is you don't have to have a carbon monoxide detector.
Okay. Well, there's a plus one for Vegas right there. 1 point Vegas. Anyway,
Point Vegas.
well, just saying you win. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so your movie going experiences have been pretty pleasant out there, then, huh?
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, it's interesting. I go to a movie theater that's actually inside a casino.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, you're in Vegas or Carson City, so sorry to.
Carson City, right outside of Reno, south of Reno. But yes, in Nevada, the gambling capital of the world.
Oh, okay.
Um, the other day, I was in McDonald's, and they had slot. They have slot machines. They have slot machines everywhere, Joseph. It's incredible.
They have one at the Chuck E. Cheese, right?
I don't know if there is a Chuck E. Cheese out here.
Oh, that was a bad joke. Sorry.
But if there is, it would be right next to the Boba Pit.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are some of the highlights, movie wise, that you've seen so far this year?
Okay, Batman. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, we don't have to get too much into that. We had a whole podcast on that. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
But
It was very dark and sinister.
yeah,
Um,
was that the first movie you saw in 2022, or you probably saw No Way Home, right? But that was like late 2021.
yeah, no, yeah, I went and saw No Way Home, but that was
Yeah,
2021. Yeah,
yeah, we had a whole podcast on that too. So,
right.
uh,
Um, Batman was good.
yeah, Batman was after that,
Um,
and then I guess after that it was Doctor Strange, right? What'd you think of?
Doctor Strange, yeah,
What'd you think of Doctor Strange 2?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out. In fact, it may be in my top five Marvel movies.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
excellent! It's high
Um,
praise.
I have always been a fan of Sam Raimi. I mean, I grew up on VH copies of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Uh, I think it was just a classic return to his form. Uh,
Sorry, could you
I,
speak into the phone a bit more, Steven? You're getting all low here. Sorry.
sorry.
Okay, there you go.
No, I really enjoyed, I really enjoyed Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. Yeah, very high
I've
praise,
always
man.
loved Sam Raimi,
Yeah,
and it was just true to form, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'm just sad that I didn't get to see it with you because it's our tradition to see MCU movies, but it's all right. I guess we will have to just wait until next time. But
yeah,
yeah,
in spirit.
yeah, we're there in spirit. I know we're always texting each other about the latest Marvel movies anyway, so in that sense, we're still watching it with each other, right? So,
Right.
but no, man, I liked it a lot too. I think my expectations were like not in place for me to praise it as much. Um, because when I hear Multiverse of Madness, I'm thinking this just shit's gonna be insane multiverse type shit. Like I thought it was gonna be like Loki, like at the end of Loki. Spoilers for Loki
Right.
there, but like he went into contact with all his variants and all that stuff, and it was just insane, right? I thought it was gonna be something like that. So I think my mindset was like had a set expectation for what it was going to be, and it didn't meet that. So in my mind, I was a
Okay.
little disappointed, you know. But
Okay.
I think now knowing what I'm going to get, rewatching it, is going to give me a different outlook. So
Well, you just wait.
no, 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 yeah, I know it's shit's just getting started too, and that's probably the thing that's like uh, also making me not like it as much because we're still at the tail end of the Infinity Saga. That just happened like 2 years ago, 3 years
Right.
ago if you want to get technical. But again, I tried to erase 2020 from my mind. So and
Yeah.
but yeah, that just ended, and then we're still off of the high of that, and then things are still just like kind of being reintroduced again. So I'm not really a huge fan of that, and I can't wait for it to get kick it up a notch. And I read somewhere that Kevin Feige said, we're going to be introducing the next like real conflict soon. So um,
Yeah.
get ready for that, and I'm ready for it. So, but having said that, I still had a lot of fun with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Spoilers for the cameos, but yeah,
Oh
the
my
cameos are
God.
incredible. I love them.
Yes. What do you know about the Illuminati?
Nothing. So please, without getting into too much, tell me what you know about it.
The Illuminati was a group formed by Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Professor X, Iron Man, Tony Stark. Remember the team that you saw when he went into the alternate dimension?
From the
Black
doctor.
Bolt,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Miss Marvel,
Reed Richards,
yeah, Reed Richards.
and which was funny because before they cast Chris Evans, John Krasinski was always attached to play Captain America. I remember that. Which
Yeah,
I'm glad he didn't because that would have been really different movie. But yeah, yeah, and Professor X, right?
yeah,
And it was a different Captain Marvel, right? It was
correct.
what?
Photon,
Oh, that's her name. Okay, but it's the girl. It's Maria Rambo, right?
right.
Okay, yeah. See,
But remember,
I got the
they're in a
names
whole
right.
different universe. It's Pete's Papa.
Okay, I got the name right. See, I should get points for that, shouldn't
You should, yes.
I? Yeah, the cameos are great. I love that section of the film, and Wanda. I was a little on the fence about her being the villain, but she does get redemption at the end, so there's that.
Well, you got to go back and read House of M,
Okay.
which is a classic Marvel comic in which she basically has a complete mental breakdown
Oh.
after the death of Quicksilver and her children and everyone else. And
Envision.
she's been through a lot.
Yeah.
She's been through a lot. So you
Under.
have to take it a little bit easy on her.
It's understandable for sure. All right. Anything else you want to mention about Doctor Strange before we move on to other movies?
No, just that I hope everyone stayed for the end credits.
It was one of my least liked end credits, just because I didn't understand. Like, who the hell is Charlize Theron playing?
Oh, she's Clea.
Okay, who's Clea?
Clea is Doctor Strange's new love interest from the Dark Dimension, controlled by Dormammu.
Okay, well, non-comic book readers will not know who that is, so that's why that was really confusing and nonsensical in that regard, in that context. So
You're right, but Charlize Theron is pretty hot, so why wouldn't you want to see her in the next Doctor Strange movie?
that wasn't my complaint. My complaint was, who is she, and it was unclear. So
Clea.
okay, but I did love, obviously, the Papa. Was it Pizza Papa? Yeah, Pizza Papa. Yeah. I was like, they would have been fine if it was like 3 hours, but he was doing that for 3 days. Jesus Christ.
Right. How long will that spell last? 3 days.
3 hours would have been just as funny a punchline. But it's fine. It reminds me of that when it was like, was it in Thor Ragnarok, or the one where he's like, I've been falling for 5 hours.
Yes.
I've been falling for 3 hours.
When he puts the spell on Loki.
Yeah, when they're
And he shows back up in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah.
I've been falling for 9 consecutive hours.
Something like that. Yeah, that was hilarious. And just his reaction to that too. He was just like, I've been falling for 3 hours. It was really funny. Anyway. Shall we move on to the next movie? Top Gun Maverick?
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this. In this context, did you think, before the summer started, in any kind of universe, did you expect Top Gun Maverick
Nope.
to outgross Doctor Strange
Nope.
and the Multiverse of Madness
Nope.
and still going?
Nope.
Okay, why do you think that is? Well, first of all, did you like the movie?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I saw both films in theaters twice.
You saw Top Gun when you were 3 years old? Or 2 years old?
God, when was it? Well,
Or did you see like a re-release? Because I know you're a cinephile. I know you're a cinephile, Steven.
Maverick in theaters twice.
Oh, I thought you said you saw both films, both Top Gun films.
Well, I have seen Top Gun film on VHS and DVD.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
I probably saw it during like a rescreening.
Yeah.
Um.
But is it like, do you like it, the original?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay.
Joseph,
Yes, Steven.
I have a need. The need for speed.
Apparently so. Okay, in comparison with the original movie, what do you think?
I think they're on a par.
Say that again?
I think they're on a par.
On par?
On par, yes.
Okay.
They're both equally. I really enjoyed it. but again, I'm an '80s kid. I grew up in '83. That's when I was born. That's the first really the year that I can remember. Um, '83. I think you had the season finale of MASH. You know, uh, um, August 16th, the day that I was born. I've looked this up. You know what the top grossing song was on the day that I was born? The Police, I'll Be Watching You.
Okay, we're getting a little carried away here, but please stay on topic with Top Gun, Steven.
Okay, I'm just saying, as an
Are
80s
we?
kid, I
Yeah.
always loved Top Gun.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the new movie.
All right.
I thought
Great.
it was, a lot of people think Tom Cruise is like a nut job. Because, well, not literally, because of like the Scientology and all that.
Right. Right.
And when he was jumping up on Oprah's couch but I've always admired Tom Cruise.
Sorry
I
to
think,
cut you off. I just always remember that scene in Family Guy. You remember when Stewie was like pretending to be Tom Cruise, like, "I'm in love with Katie Holmes. I'm not gay. I'm in love with Katie
yeah,
Holmes."
yes.
I always think about that Family Guy scene. Again,
I'm not gay.
I'm not gay.
Or what about South Park? Tom Cruise, come out of the closet. Come out of the closet, Tom.
uh,
Um, but no, I mean, I think he's really an extraordinary actor,
uh-huh.
especially if he does do his own stunts. Because some of the stunts that he does are crazy. I mean, like when you if you're watching the new Top Gun and they're going like Mach 10,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you can just see the G force on their faces.
Yeah.
I actually thought, uh, well, I'm not gonna lie, I even kind of teared up a little bit when Val Kilmer.
Oh right. Yeah. 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 Iceman.
That yeah, Iceman. Yeah, exactly.
Great. Sounds like you really love the film. Had a lot of nostalgic connections to you. So great. Yeah. No, as for me, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for the first film. I remember it, being culturally relevant, obviously for the Need for Speed but I was more into it because of Tony Scott. I'm a huge Tony Scott fan,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's one of his first films, and
yes it
obviously
is.
one of the first Bruckheimer Don Simpson
Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer and Don
collaborations
Simpson.
with Tony Scott. So in that regard, I always felt like it deserves its own genre of being like the summer blockbuster, you know pantheon of films like that. But um, however, I gotta like when I watched Top Gun Maverick today, I'm like, it is one of those like The Godfather 2 or something. It's like a sequel that far exceeds the original. In not just quality, like storytelling quality, but obviously of like the technology. Like it feels like Top Gun. I rewatched both of them recently, and the original Top Gun. The dog fight sequences just seem so like cut together. Like they just went out in the air and just shot a bunch of footage, and they had to let's cut it together because they're saying this, so we got to cut that scene together with it. It seems so kind of haphazard. It seemed like very unorganized, but it's not their
Yeah.
fault. It's the technology wasn't there, and the budget probably wasn't there either. But so nowadays, they do something and you see it happen, and like it's very clear geographically, like what's going on in the air, and they had to rig cameras on F-18s or whatever where they're flying, and
F-14 Tomcats.
right, it's incredible, and I think going back to what I asked you earlier, why it is the top grossing film, of the year so far. I think a lot has to do with, yes, Tom Cruise, um, doing his own stunts. I think he is like the last action hero in regards to he's actually doing action, real action stunts.
Oh
He's
yeah,
flying real
absolutely.
planes, and he, knock on wood. Hopefully he doesn't like get seriously injured one of these days. But Jesus Christ, man, this guy's unreal. Like, he's the only person doing this. It's what they call, I think the term for it is like jingoistic, where he's like, actually doing the things that
Yeah.
we see on film, and instead of, a green screen. And like you said, I wholly agree with you that you could see everything. You see the G force. You could see them, you know, test the limits of the hard deck. They're going. I know they're probably not actually doing that, but the film was shot on IMAX cameras. The action sequences, they look incredible. Um, the film was like a Mission Impossible film too. It's like that the thing that they have to do is almost like
Yeah.
a heist film, an Ocean's 11, Mission
Right.
Impossible type of film, and it's also a Star Wars film because it's like they're doing the trench run, and they have to drop two bombs. Even Miles Teller, Bradley Bradshaw, Rooster's character, switches off his operating system and goes and uses the Force. He
Yes.
doesn't use the Force, but you know what I mean. He
Yes.
he shoots it blind, and I'm just gonna go for it. There's no time, and he just drops, miracle number two, and then boom.
Right.
So the movie's like all these movies in one, and I think the original film like kind of started this kind of melodramatic, like soap opera esque drama with their characters in an action movie. One of the first films to do that, and Maverick takes that to another level because I think, sure, we got to do this thing. We got to blast this uranium um, shipment that's being contained there, and it's unnamed, which is great because it's ambiguously like apolitical, right?
Right.
Which everyone's like kind of praising it for. Um, but yeah, sure, they had to do
But
this
it's
thing.
probably Russia.
Exactly, they're yeah, they're in some kind of snowy field, right? So, um, but yeah, they have to do this thing, which is consequential. But I think what gives it the stakes is the drama. The drama of the conflict between Rooster and Maverick. He's trying to save his life. He never wanted him to be a pilot. For his father, his Goose was his only family, and that just makes the stakes of the action like next level. You know what I mean? Like when I actually just watched it last night. That's why it's so like
Yeah.
recently in my head. But when I was watching, I'm like, man, this is how you make action sequences work. If you get the characters invested emotionally, and I was just like, I saw it, that was my second time seeing it, and I'm still like what's gonna happen? Like I was so invested in that sequence, the Miracle One, Miracle Two, and then of course it hits another level when Rooster goes after him. After his plane goes down. Again, sorry, I should have been mentioned, but spoiler for Top Gun Maverick. Um, but yeah, man. I think it's. I see why it's number one right now. Um, and hopefully it stays for a while. But I think Avatar: The Way of the Water will have something to say about that.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Yeah.
That the trailer for that looked incredible on IMAX, by the way. Avatar trailer. Holy
It,
shit!
it, it, it does. So that should be really interesting to
Right,
see
right.
what James Cannon's going to deliver after all these years.
Another thing about Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, I've always been a huge fan of Joseph Kosinski. Ever since Tron Legacy, that film got a lot of shit, and I could see it's kind of like really weird pacing, especially towards the end. It just like completely stalls in the middle of its momentum, right? But I think that movie has a lot of great qualities, and the score is fantastic by Daft Punk, and Oblivion, another great score too by M83, another like gem that's like underrated. You know what I mean? With another, the first collaboration between him and Tom Cruise. So
Yeah.
and the film was, I mentioned that it was like a Mission Impossible movie. Well, it was written by Christopher McQuarrie, who's directing the last four Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise. So
Right.
that you know goes to show the way that is. Anyway, I think I praised it enough. Anything else you want to add for Top Gun Maverick?
I don't think so.
Did I?
I
I
think
took the
we,
words
I
right
think
out of
we
your mouth.
covered it.
What's that, Steven?
I think we covered it.
I think I covered it.
Yeah.
All right. So on the other end of the spectrum, I'm not going to be praising this movie, but what'd you think of Jurassic World Dominion?
Oh,
You and I are in agreement with this,
wasn't
right?
bad.
Yeah, you and I are in agreement with this, but I think you have a much more favorable. You have much more leniency when it comes to. Uh, let me tell me what you think of the film.
Um, it was supposed to be about dinosaurs and mankind coexisting.
But it ended up being about locusts.
It ended up being about space locusts.
On paper, that sounds great.
Mutant cicadas.
So many missed opportunities.
That are threatening the crops.
Yeah, right. Please continue.
I did enjoy seeing the old cast and
Yeah.
the new cast get together.
Right, yeah. Me too.
But
It's the only thing worthwhile to me.
yeah, the plot had a lot of holes.
Oh, it's like Swiss cheese, man.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't the problem for me. The problem is that such untapped potential. Sorry, I'm sorry. Were you finished with your thought? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
no, go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, I just want to chime in a bit that so many missed opportunities. Like Fallen Kingdom set this up to be like the best movie ever.
Right.
Dinosaurs in our world. How can you
Right.
go wrong with that premise? Like
Right.
they even had the prologue. I don't know if you guys knew this, or I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if our audience knew this, but they shot a prologue where people are watching a drive-in movie, and then you see a T-Rex. Like the movie is projected on the T-Rex's face, an iconic image. Why couldn't the movie be more like that? You know what I mean? So, in, when you expect this movie to make a right, it makes a left. You know what I mean? It's like I think it's trying to be contrarian, and not in a good way either, because it's not doing that to what do you call it? Something your expectations. It's not trying to. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean.
Subvert.
Thank you, thank you so much. I had a brain fart there. It's not trying to subvert your expectations. It's just doing it to troll you, pretty much.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like for instance, the premise that the movie we wanted to watch, that Fallen Kingdom set up, they just skipped that in like a 2-minute montage, showing scenes of this dinosaur stopped traffic, or this dinosaur whatever,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's like, what? I wanted to see a whole movie
Now
about
they
that.
run with horses.
Yeah, that's believable that Chris Pratt can catch a huge dinosaur with a horse. That's completely believable, don't you think?
Yeah.
And then the locust thing, which would have been fine if it just kicked off something, but it's the movie's called Jurassic World, not Locust World. I don't, that didn't make sense.
Right.
That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Oh my god, man! You know what? This is another case of and my expectations were really low for this. I understand Colin Trevorrow's not the greatest filmmaker. Look at Jurassic World, like weaponized raptors. That's not a great
Right.
idea. That's actually a really dumb fucking idea. But
I remember when we saw that.
and but I still had fun with Jurassic Park just because, they're in a park and it was it did the Lego sequel right. I had to hit these beats of the original while trying to be its own movie. You know what I mean? Um, Ditto Fallen Kingdom. It's like another The Lost World. It even
Right.
had Buffalo Bill as the guy, the Dino
Bu-
Hunter. You know,
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo
Buffalo
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
God.
but this movie had no like movie to riff off of. It was trying to be its own thing, and
Yeah.
it didn't know what it wanted to do. Like what
No.
happened at the end? Like it just became another park. Like, oh, we relocated these dinosaurs here. Oh, sure. So now it's just another. We have to escape the dinosaurs and escape this place and destroy the huge corporate, evil mustache twirling guy. You know.
Right.
Oh my god. And they even squandered that. Like the guy who gave the Barbasol can to Nedry.
Yes.
Dodson. We've
Had
got
a guy.
Dodson here.
He had it in like his office.
Yeah, we got Dodson here.
Like.
Nobody knows your name.
Right.
Remember that scene? I love that scene.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't the same actor too. It was like something Campbell. Um, got his name. Sorry, Scott
You,
Campbell Scott. Campbell Scott. Yeah.
you know what's funny? When I was like in the fourth or fifth grade,
Yeah.
we had an assignment. Um, and when you're in elementary school, you have one teacher that just teaches multiple subjects.
Uh huh.
So it was like literature or something like that. But we had to do a book report, and we had to pick a book. We could pick any book we wanted to pick and read and do a book report on it. And I picked Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
and the teacher said, "No, you can't do a book report on this subject. It's too advanced.
Oh.
It's too adult. There's too many pages."
Yeah. Oh, she's trying to. What's the word? Um. I'm it's late. My brain's not working, but she's trying to cage you in there. Your intellect,
Yeah.
Steven. Right?
No, so I went home and I went to my parents and I basically cried my eyes out and went, "They won't let me read the Jurassic Park book, and I want to read it so badly."
Oh, poor Steven.
And so my parents went up to the school and they're like, "You better let him read this goddamn book."
Nice.
And they eventually did. And then I remember in 1994, they took me to go see the movie at, you ever been to the theater in Newport, the Big Six?
Probably, yeah.
Off of like PCH?
Okay. I don't think I've been there, but sure.
Well, they took me to go see Jurassic Park, the original movie, at the Newport Big Six Theater.
Yeah. That's great. Great story. You know what, Steven? I have a similar story, but mine didn't end as happily as you. Um, so I remember my friend. He was kind of a book nerd, bookworm. Was reading that. I was probably similar grade, like sixth or seventh, maybe fifth or sixth grade, and my friend was reading that. He was huge into that book. I think he knew the movie was coming out or something, and I read it with him. I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually really good." I didn't know it was about dinosaurs. I saw the dinosaur cover, but I was like, I thought it was just about like archaeology or something, So, but then when there's actual dinosaurs, oh holy shit, this is really interesting. Um, and there's curse words. And I was a kid. I was like, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but dude, this is how deep I got into Michael Crichton. I was like, man, this is so good. I want to read his other novels. So I read like the Andromeda Strain. I read like Congo, which
Nice.
weren't up to par with that at the time for me because I was like, where's the where's the dinosaurs in Congo? There's no dinosaurs. I was a kid. You know what I mean? So, but I
It's
really wanted.
just gorillas.
It's a gorilla. What's this gorilla doing? Where's the dinosaur? Anyway, but no, I wish that's the big regret of my life not seeing Jurassic Park in the theater because I saw it eventually saw it on VHS, which as you know back then we did not have sound systems in our homes, and
No,
to
we
to
didn't.
to fully enjoy Jurassic Park you need a great sound
A
system.
sound system.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Especially
Dolby.
for the T Rex sequence and any of the just THX and the people at ILM and they
So nice.
optimize that for theaters, and you know, luckily I have a 5.1 system at home now, and I can watch Jurassic Park. I have it in 3D as well, and the transfer is incredible. I think it's one of the best converted to 3D films ever because when you see that dinosaur roaring at you in 3D in a good sound system, it'll scare the shit out of you. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's our endorsement of Jurassic World Dominion. If you want to watch a good movie, just watch the original Jurassic Park in 3D if you have it. And maybe even I like the Lost World a lot too. It's had some problems, but it's way better than all the other sequels. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jurassic
Well,
Park 3.
it's still had Spielberg behind the helm.
Yeah. Jurassic Park 3 by Joe Johnston. Not as bad as I remember it being. So even that is probably better than the Trevorrow works.
Right. Yeah. No, I would agree. I would say it probably goes Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, then Jurassic World,
Okay, nice.
Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion.
Yeah, so in that order, it just steadily declines, huh? Excellent. Any
Unfortunately,
right. Anything else you want to mention about Jurassic World Dominion before I move on?
not that I can think of, no.
Okay, great. So let's before we end the show, let's get into what we're looking forward to the most. What are you looking forward to the most for the rest of the year, show wise or movie wise, Steven?
Oh, what do you think?
Well, I already mentioned like my most anticipated film was probably Avatar: Way of the Water. Do you have anything? You're probably looking forward to that too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Um.
looking for. I already have my tickets to it. Love and Thunder,
Oh,
baby.
nice. Yeah. That comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Not this week, but the week after, right?
yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. The latest trailer, the IMAX trailer, looks incredible. When like the Russell Crowe guy character like rips his clothes off, right? And he's like,
Oh
uh,
yeah, Zeus. Yeah.
"Oh, that's Zeus." Okay, nice.
Oops.
and
Yeah, that's Zeus.
and what's the Valkyrie? Yeah, Valkyrie's like, or Jane is like, "Should we help him?" He's like, Valkyrie's like, "Eventually." That's great.
Yeah, right.
She's just she's
Give it a moment.
yeah, she's just like enjoying the eye candy, eating popcorn or whatever it is she's doing.
Right, grapes.
Oh, grapes! Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Grapes.
Yeah. They don't
Should
have
we help him?
they don't
Let's
have
give it a moment.
they don't have popcorn in the gods don't eat popcorn.
Right.
Maybe if they go down to Earth like Thor does, he loves his beer, so that we know that from
That's
Endgame.
true. He goes from dad bod to god bod.
Yeah. that's that's a great tagline, Steven. You should be right. You should be in charge of the marketing team. What the hell, man? Okay, I saw Thor. Yeah. Anything else in July? I don't think. Oh, I'm really looking forward to Nope, the Jordan Peele film.
Oh
Which,
yeah.
yeah,
No, he makes good movies.
right.
And this one looks exceptionally weird.
Right. Us wasn't as great as Get Out. but it's still good. And yeah, he's building himself quite the repertoire of a discography there. So,
Yeah.
what's coming out August? Are you looking? Do you want to watch Bullet Train? It looks fun, but
Yeah,
yeah, for
somewhat.
for Brad Pitt
Yeah.
and yeah, and the guy who like gets cast as a samurai all the time. So
Right.
racist. Just because he's Japanese, he's not a samurai, man. um, I'm looking forward to Babylon. That's the Damien Chazelle like movie about the silent era of Hollywood.
Yeah.
I believe Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt are in it. So I mean that's a powerhouse duo casting right there. So,
Yeah.
but it's the release date is this the week a week after Avatar. So I don't know how well it's gonna do.
Mm.
Unless people, it's good counter programming, that's for sure. Because you're like, I have enough of all the
Right.
CG. I'll go watch a real movie. Not that
Right.
Avatar is not a real movie, but you know what I mean. Um, any shows you're looking forward to? Is oh you said you were looking forward to She-Hulk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool. Huge fan of Tatiana Maslany, and I believe Mark Ruffalo is gonna make a cameo in that too, right?
I think he is.
He
Let's
better.
see. Yeah.
Isn't that his cousin or something?
Yes, they're cousins.
Okay.
She. Spoiler alert. She's an attorney and gets into a car accident and needs a blood transfusion.
Oh, okay.
And Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, is the only one that has the
Her blood.
correct blood to
Oh,
give
her
her.
blood type.
Yep.
Or is he a
So
universal donor? Is he
unfortunately,
O negative?
he donates his blood, and because she's the same blood type, it
Okay.
saves her life. But she turns into
L-
She-Hulk.
Let me ask you this: what master do you serve? I'm just kidding. No. How does he get the needle? Huh?
I just laughed.
um, how does he get the needle in him? Like, wouldn't he just Hulk out and the needle would break?
I don't know. We'll have to watch it. You would think
They have to like,
you would literally think it would be that complicated.
yeah.
Um. So I don't know. We'll have to watch the series and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. How does he get any? How does he have surgery? Well, I guess he doesn't need it because he's like the gamma in him will just like weed it out or something. But whatever.
You would think, yeah.
These are the questions I'm riddled with when I watch MCU movies.
They
That
keep you awake every night.
yes, I
I
lose a lot
know.
of sleep for these reasons. Other things I'm looking forward to: Stranger Things. It's coming out this week, so I don't have to wait long for that. Better Call Saul, second half of the final season for sure. I'm watching The Boys right now, so I think the finale airs next week. And what's the next Disney Plus Star Wars show coming out? Do you know? Is it gonna
I
be?
don't know, but I'm not sure about. It'd probably be the Mandalorian, wouldn't it?
Oh, oh no, it's gonna be Andor, the Rogue One spinoff.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. With what's his name from Y Tu Mamá También? Not Gael Garcia, the other guy.
Pedro, is it not
Oh no, not Pedro Pascal. He's the Mando. He's Mando.
right?
But I forget his name, dude. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. So looking forward to that
that's
as
gonna
well.
be good.
Yeah, it should be good, right? And we know he can't die either. So another shows that suffers from prequelitis. Do you, oh, I really want to watch a Lando spinoff. That'd be cool too.
Oh, with
Yeah, Donald
Donald
Glover.
Glover.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah.
Right.
I like Solo. I really enjoyed Solo.
Yeah, I gotta
In fact, we
rewatch
saw
it.
it together.
Yeah, we saw that together. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, it's got great moments. The heist moments and stuff are great.
right,
And even, yeah, the spoiler, but the Darth Maul reveal was pretty
right.
cool too. So yeah, it was like a little shoot. It was like a western, you know, like okay at the OK Corral towards the end.
Yeah,
And, but I think it was just again it was like my expectations and the fact that I was like kind of mad about the firing of I forgot the original directors, but they were supposed to make it like funnier, you know, the
right.
Phil Lord and Miller. Yeah, I was really mad about that for some reason. And I was like, I went into the movie like with my arms crossed, like, show me what you got, Ron Howard. You know, so I probably had that kind of mindset going into the movie. So I probably got to rewatch it without that to give it a fair assessment. You know, that makes sense.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, we've been talking for a while here, Steven. So I think that will conclude our episode. Unless you have anything else you want to add.
Um, no, I think we covered it all.
Let me ask you this. I've been kind of just, you know, obsessing about like box office numbers, but okay, I already asked you why you thought Top Gun Maverick uh, exceeded everyone's expectations, right? Also, something I forgot to mention was I think that you know that demographic, the older crowd, like the crowd that was supposed to be like the No Time to Die crowd, they came out from Maverick. You know what I mean? Uh,
Right.
2021, late 2021 was when No Time to Die came out, and by that time people were just got vaccinated like months before, you know. So I don't think people were ready for that. No Time to Die should have made Maverick numbers, don't you think?
Correct.
Yeah, but it didn't. Do you? Is there any other movie in mind that you think this year can be kind of that? Like holy shit! Like I didn't see that happening.
Again, I gotta say, I really love Doctor Strange
Yeah.
and the Multiverse Madness. I mean, but again, you know me and all the comics I have and how much of a fan I am of Marvel. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the fact that we're now getting into the multiverse experience.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I think it's interesting because again, like I said, how old are we? We're in our late 30s, early 40s, something like that.
Uh huh.
We're getting up there.
Well,
But how many years ago was Top Gun?
right.
Top Gun was what 1984, 85.
Yeah.
So that was about the time that we were born. And I remember Top Gun was one of the first movies I ever saw in theaters, along with like Beetlejuice and Batman, because I loved Tim Burton. And I would always make my parents drag me to any Tim Burton film.
Right.
But what's old is now new again.
For sure. Yep. All right. I'm looking at the highest grossing films of 2022 wiki, and at this point, Top Gun Maverick has a worldwide gross of 1.02 billion dollars. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness sits at number two with a worldwide gross of $950 million. So it's almost gonna break a billion. Batman, the Batman is number three with 770,000 a million. Sorry, a thousand. That would have been a disaster.
Yeah,
To answer my own question, I think Avatar is that movie, but people are gonna expect it to do that anyway. But I think it's a four quadrant film. You got the legacy people that are gonna come out just because it's gonna be an event film. Like, oh, did you hear that? James Cameron makes a movie every 10 years, so we got to see that.
yeah,
In this case, he
yeah,
made a movie in 13 years, So people are gonna see it for the technology advancement, and then the kids who grew up with Avatar are gonna go watch. They're like in their 30s now, so they're gonna watch it for that. And I'm gonna be really surprised if Avatar does not beat Top Gun Maverick for the number one film. But who knows? What do I know? So we will
No,
see.
it may very well. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember seeing the first one in theaters in 3D and
Yes.
how
Me too.
advanced that was.
Right. 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 Blew my
And
mind.
and now, I mean, James Cameron, let's face it, has not made a bad movie in his entire career.
Okay. I mean, Piranhas too. You can argue, but
Well, okay, maybe Piranha. I'm talking about like Terminator.
yeah. But
Terminator
post
2.
Terminator, yeah, post Terminator, yeah, he probably never made a bad
Right.
movie in his career. Yeah, you're right. I'll agree with you.
Aliens.
He probably
True
took
Lies.
he probably took Piranha like for the money, So wasn't even his idea probably. So uh, we forgot to mention before we end the episode. We forgot to mention Black Panther 2.
Oh, with name one.
Yeah. So who- let me ask you real quick. I think for sure that's gonna be Creed 3 as well. Jesus Christ, I forgot. My boy Michael B. Jordan is directing too. So, but who's gonna be Black Panther? Is it gonna be the
That's a
sister?
very good question.
It's gonna be the sister, right?
Um, my guess is it's either going to be
Sherry or Shuri? Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri,
Yeah, Shuri
the
or whatever.
sister,
Yeah,
or Michael B. Jordan will take over the mantle.
that I
Or
like that
Skywalker.
idea, but I think he was booked at the time, so I don't think he made it. But who knows? You know what? That'd be great if it was just like they kept that out of the marketing, or they pulled like that's a huge surprise, and then it was Michael B.
Right.
Jordan. That would be freaking awesome. I really hope that is, because he's the only like big like black action star right now, up to par with rest in peace uh, Chadwick Boseman. But
Yeah.
um, my friend mentioned Yahya Abdul Mateen, the guy who played Doctor Manhattan from the Watchmen show, and he's in the latest Ambulance movie. He was Candyman
Right.
as well. So I think he has a good presence as well, and he's cheap. He's not like a huge name, so you can get him on a budget. You know what I mean? So yeah, Abdul Mateen could be. What about any of the like Duke Winston, the guy who plays is it the Jabari clan? Uh,
Yeah.
do you think he could step up as well? Because he's always like fighting. They're always kind of
Yeah.
fighting for the title.
Possibly. I mean, they have a lot of options.
What about the guy from Get Out? I forget his name. Daniel Kaluuya. He's also like the head of something. He's part of the T'Challa's council, right?
Right.
Do you think he has the charisma though, or I don't think he's good. He's leading man type. He's more supporting. He's better leading man in like an indie film like Get Out. Yeah, but
Right.
I don't know if he can carry like a blockbuster franchise.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what
Yeah,
decisions they make.
yeah. That's
Um,
really fascinating. I really hope they do it justice though. So we'll see.
I think they will.
Yeah,
I think ultimately they will.
but for you personally, you'd like to see Michael B. Jordan.
Either Michael B. Jordan or Shuri,
Okay.
his
Dude,
sister.
don't you think Shuri's like I'm a feminist as much as the next guy, but she's too scrawny. You know, like shouldn't the Black Panther be a symbol of like power? And
Yeah, but she puts on that suit and
okay,
she can bulk up like
okay,
think about how
gotcha.
Natalie Portman bulked up
Right,
from the
right,
next
right, right.
movie.
But is that actor like that bulky? Did she like get into that good a shape? I hope she did. Because in Black Panther, she looked really scrawny. Like she looked like she was skipping meals there. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but in the comics, sure he does take over the mantle of Black Panther for a while.
Okay.
But it would make the most sense.
Right. Okay, yeah, I'm on board with you. I think Michael B. Jordan would be the best choice, especially since he's really close with the director Ryan Coogler. But
Right.
we will have to
Yeah.
see. It's just one of those things. We won't have to wait that long. It's coming in November, so what's that? 5 months from now. Even
Yeah.
closer. It's like four. It's already July, right? So it's like 4 months away.
Well, and when is the Guardians one for the week?
No, that's coming out next year because we're getting the Christmas special this year. The James Gunn Guardians Christmas special that's going to be on Disney Plus, and then
Yeah.
2023 is going to be the Guardians Volume 3.
Right.
So this year we already have our three Marvel movies. That's Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then next year I think it's
Uh,
Guardians and another two. So
right. Plus all the Disney Plus shows.
oh yeah.
Quite a bit of output.
I know, right? They're making up for lost time, right? 2020 it was like nothing, and then like 2021 we had like four shows. I want to say it was WandaVision, Captain America and the Winter Soldier,
Winter Soldier,
Loki,
yeah.
and Hawkeye. Jesus,
Loki and Hawkeye. Yeah.
wow. This year so far, two, Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, right? And
Yeah.
then She Hulk coming up.
You
Yeah, yeah. Lots to look forward to for us Marvel fans, right, Steven?
know, absolutely.
All right, so I think that is a good endpoint for us. That brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you again to my good friend Stephen Bess. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
And you can find more episodes on thelazerboy.wordpress.com. Search us on the YouTube. Just type in the Lazerboy, on Instagram at the Lazerboy, and Twitter to be announced. But I believe it's at _ the Lazerboy. It could be wrong. But thank you again for listening to us on our 2022 catch up. Let us know if you have any suggestions for our future episodes because we're a little on the fence about that right now. Want to take us out there, Steven, with the Lazerboy theme?
If I can, in 3, 2, 1. Laser boy, what is the secret of your power?
Excellent.
Was that good?
That was more than good. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Steven.
Excellent.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. And
Good night.
say that again.
Adios.
That was such a delay. That was like 20-second delay there, buddy.
Wait, I'm just,
It's fine.
shut up.
I'm
Laser boy.
was that it? Okay. All right. We're out.
All right.